Alright, Master Mason note. Now, I forgot where I was before I started this video. I had something hot started out for it, but we'll just kick back into it. We're doubling down here. Show you some entropy, first break, second break. So let's get wild. Alright, so Markova's physics. What's Markova? You know, essentially this is some kind of triangulation. X, Y, and some level of a Z bar. So you got X, Y, and a Z. And somebody will tell you that's that triangle, that these two lengths, or this is an equilateral triangle, or an acute triangle. You know, sometimes she's an acute triangle, you know, you just gotta, you know. But in here, you know, this has to deal with kind of like that, they, you know, hippie chicks with the crystals and everything like that, or really any kind of house mouse stoner that deals with some of the wrong contextual information. You get a lot of that Gandhi, Buddha, kind of living out here hanging with the Yetis in the Himalayas, what I like to say, because you're usually just chilling, right? Everything's absolute 0 Kelvin in here, and that's crystal. It's you know, from here to here, the temperature of this in this ice cube machine or whatever represents hot or cold, really. It's really going to be either red shifted or blue shifted, and then you're looking at some composition in physics to say, all right, that's that doorway, that's that triangulation, XYZ, and it is that many Terminator T800 units, qubits, all from happening at that time in the Skynet supercomputer up here. All right, so you know, obviously you can kind of see that parallaxing effect as you kind of reference what center mass is via elements, and this could be the crystalline structure of gold. You know, you're going to put some electrons in here. I think there's 5 of them or something like that in the structure, and you could say, all right, you know, they're points are electron. This thing has points which kind of correlate to, at this moment it's red shifted or blue shifted, or there's a tone, a frequency. When I say tone, I mean heat, I mean friction, I mean surface tension of these rocks. And a lot of times, you know, they're not that heavy, but if you forget to compensate the mass of that surface tension between those two rocks, they act like friction, just an inverted XY field of it. And so the long skinny on that, or the thick and hairy on that one there is, you know, you'll see some stuff about old cultures dealing with it, you know, Mayans, Antarcticans and stuff like that, and there's meteors coming at the planets or whatever bullshit that little box is going to give you. Not to say it's wrong, I mean, given it time, but I need more people to be able to walk through that triangulation so we can register the same timeline. You know, I got to be able to walk through that way. You got to be able to walk through this way. You're going to give me patterns. They call them pattern screamers and tones and little blue fucking falcons and stuff like that all around you all day. But, you know, as much as you're trying to stay out of the local, you know, you want to maintain, does that integrate physics, +1, -1? Because as each of them have a turbulent flow from each other, they would dictate a very specific mass. You know, time here, this is some heavy duty stuff for some people. You got to actually know some of the math and chemistry and physics and mechanics behind each of these things. Chemistry, back to this first part, is mechanics. It's just in that form, those chemical elements at that place have a certain color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 0, 0. And so, you know, in here, a lot of those elements, I just don't understand that air crane to the plumb bob swinging an option from earlier has hydrogen 1, because from that step, you're going to start mechanically processing mass gaps. And then you get all acadasic out of this and, you know, see all the lights. And so, you know, generally I'm in here burning rock, you know, and I'm half in, half out. I got enough of the mass process in here to, I need to subtly adjust and renormalize some of that. And because of that, that's that frequency of a ruby in a laser, you know. And obviously there would be certain models of decay state in the Hadron Collider or something in the educational school system to say, energy can work that way. You know, if I pass it through an engineering crystal or this red, somebody responds to, like, even though stonemasonry is, it's a blue stone crystal, you know, so if I put that next to you in a certain conversation, or I just drop it in solution at the right time, you know, it's going to have an acid test like anything else. Time moving forward, you know, what becomes that new physics of that standard? All right, and again, you know, we're just trying to integrate things across the ground. Those are cool ways to do it, and obviously there's some huge biometrical things that respond to physics. How you go about testing that physics, and what is the real response of those things if you can process things back for a moment and try to understand the engineering of that stuff, because everything you do in terms of thought is essentially engineering. I know I got to process that rock, but if I'm over there in steps, and I know also if I hear a certain thing via training, then inside of here, this process of just the uppy downies that make that right aren't exactly correct. And you might want to stop in the middle. Lots of times that happens, but the physics would have to be absolutely correct to really want to do that. And so hanging old Danger Dave, anything we do, Three-Fingered Joe, you know, anything we do, it's a tax. There's the universe around us. It's like, so you got to strip it all down. You know, just start tearing gear off. You know, and, you know, eventually you get to the point where no matter how far you go with it, you get into this rabbit kelp, right? So, boy, hang on. Catch you on the next one.